point number 3, redlining and
Okay.
housing discrimination. So this started really around the 1930s, but really kicked off once again around
60s.
1950s because
And 50 going to sit when once niggas had some money, was able to move into some houses, they said, nah, y'all keep y'all ass right over here.
yeah. So if you know the history, the first subdivisions were built in 1940. Damn, pardon me, 1948. The first subdivision in America is Levittown, New York, and Long Island. I know because I was born and raised in Long Island and lived probably about 30 minutes away from that motherfucker. In
Yeah, it's crazy.
1948, like I was just telling Bree before you came in, like white people in America, there was no middle class. Like if you watch Gangs of New York or you ever seen that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, the average whites was
It was
wilding. They
like
were
it was like it was
thugging.
like
They were
yeah, it
wilding.
was like slum, it was like the slums and the rich.
Exactly. You was either a fucking, you
Businessman,
was a businessman, great poupon ass devil,
labor,
or you was a,
hard labor,
or you was a goddamn factory worker, killer, murderer,
bricklayer.
devil. You know what I'm saying? So the prisons was mostly them. They were poor whites, period. Now, you had the Great
That's when they was
Depression.
racist. That's when they was racist against each other. Like they ain't like
Yeah, yeah.
Scottish people,
The
Irish
Italians didn't
people,
like the
shit like
Irish, or the
that.
Irish didn't like the Polish, and this and that. That's when them niggas was always fucked up. And you had the Great Depression, you had yeah, the stock market crash. Niggas was eating tumbleweeds. You know what I'm saying? That's how fucked up white people were. They were down bad. Black people, because we already been through the trenches of society, we was always at the bottom of society at this time. So
Like nigga, that's
it was
bad.
just another
Like nigga, this ain't
Tuesday.
bad. This
It,
this is what it is.
yeah, yeah. There was just another Tuesday for us. White people were struggling. World War II saved. I'm not even gonna say saved. World War II created the American economy. Niggas went over there, killed, helped them devils in England out because they was about to be speaking German. And because all these industries had to be cranked up to build tanks, bombs, all this shit to go help their ass, that generated money. After them motherfuckers came back, they had got the VA loans from the GI Bill that allowed these
Yeah,
poor whites to buy their
yeah, for the
first
white
home.
man they had advance.
And if
Yeah.
you old enough, or if you spoke
And
to
but
some,
they ain't give niggas no GI Bill back then.
only 5% of the recipients of those original VA loans were black soldiers. 95% were the white soldiers. That's how the suburbs got jump started. So in 1948, Levittown, the guy, he builds the first subdivision. They replicated across the United States, and they were able to replicate it because all of that government GI Bill money can now be put to good use. You know what I'm saying? Them soldiers that came back, they were still poor when they came back. But now that these homes were being manufactured, that's when you had TV shows like
And
Leave It to
that
Beaver and I Love Lucy that put the idea out there of, okay, you need to live in a
stop,
motherfucking house, picket fence, two
stop, man.
kids, the dog, all that. And that's what programmed white people to start buying homes. That's the first propaganda. Television was always the propaganda. First, it was the war propaganda, and then after the war, it became the financial marketing,
I like buy the home.
propaganda. You need a house because a lot of them whites were still in the hood, in the inner cities with us, as far as people that were up north. I'm not talking about this down south niggas in that scenario, but up north, blacks and whites were still jammed in the cities together. Once those suburbs got popping, they now had the resources via the government to get up out of there. That created segregation, and then of course those newly formed suburbs had white clauses only. You know what I mean? If you ever sell your house, sell it only to a white person.